Time now for today's Strawberry Letter, and if you need advice on relationships, on dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to steveharveyfm.com and click Submit Strawberry Letter. We could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now. And you just never know. It could be yours. This one could be.
You never know. Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is. Strawberry Letter.
Thank you, nephew. Subject: what was she doing while I was gone? Dear Steve and Shirley, I'm a 33-year-old black man married for 9 years. When I got married, I was young and still in the streets. Over time, I got an associate's degree and I got a job in a position of leadership. But I was still hanging out with the same crew, and I got caught up and ended up in jail. A friend of mine asked me to drive him to the liquor store, so I did. He went in and came out, and we left. I had no idea that he had committed an armed robbery until I was arrested for being a getaway driver. My wife had just had our third son, but she held me down because she knows I'm not a bad guy. I did my time and I got home 6 months ago. I listened to the radio show while I was locked up, and this is my favorite subject. So I'm trying to see if you could help me. My wife is a lot different since I got home. She dresses differently and she smokes weed, which is legal in our area. She dictates if and when we have sex, and she rations out money to me. I feel as if I can't say anything because of what I put her through while I was locked up. We were watching TV the other night and her phone rang and she left the room to talk. I didn't say a word. The next morning she got a call and I could hear that it was a man on the phone. She talked for about 3 minutes, and as soon as she hung up, I told her she has a lot of nerve allowing men to call her while she's home, and there is no way this can continue. She told me to hush and be glad I still have a home because her friends helped her out by doing things in and around the house while I was away. I asked her what in and around the house meant, and she ignored me. I have to keep cool and not explode on her. What's the best way to approach it?
Whew, Jesus, boy.
Well, right now, the best thing you can do is get yourself together, okay? Time doesn't stop when you go to prison. Stop expecting things to be the same, and you need to think about the future. What was she doing while you were gone? Well, she was surviving, obviously. She was taking care of 3 kids alone. She was probably scared. You said she held it down while you were in jail, and she did let you come back home, okay? But the respect and apparently the love are gone out of this relationship. You see and hear what she's doing. She's talking with other men. Of course you don't like it. I mean, what man would like that from their wife? So now you need to concentrate on your next move, and that's being your own man, because your wife is doing her thing. There's nothing you can do about it right now. You said it. You have to keep cool and not explode on her. You need to get your dignity, your self-respect back. So I suggest you get a job somewhere. You start making your own money so she won't have to ration it out to you, as you say. I mean, no man wants that. Save it for your apartment, then, fix the situation with your wife and these kids. You might have to arrange visitation rights if you do eventually get your own apartment. And I say making sure your kids are okay. That should be your top priority right now anyway, because they missed a lot of time with you. Your youngest son hardly even knows you. You're concentrating on the wrong things, I think. You expect things to be the same. Clearly your wife has moved on. You need to do the same now, but with purpose. Okay? Steve.
This is going to be a tough one to answer for you, young brother. So, I'm going to just take you through this thing step by step, because one of the first things when you're trying to solve this problem is taking full responsibility and knowing what it is that you can do to bring about change. The question is, on the subject, what was she doing while I was gone? Now, you're a 33-year-old black man married for 9 years. When you got married, you were young and still in the streets. So you were 24 when you got married, same age as me at my first marriage. That is young to be married for anybody. But you were still in the streets. Over time, you got an associate degree and you got a job in a position of leadership. So you're realizing that you got to do better for yourself. Here's the mistake you made. But I was still hanging with the same crew, and I got caught up and ended up in jail. How many times have I said this to people? Everybody come with you, can't go with you. In order to grow, you have to go. I've said it so many different ways. You can't worry about keeping it real. You got to keep it moving. I've said all of these things that tie us to the hood, that tie us to our old relationships and friends. But you can't go get an associate degree. Here's another one that I said a long time ago. You can't be a college student and a thug in the same sentence. It don't match. Thugging and college student don't match. Now, you didn't know what was going on, but you dropped your friend off at a liquor store. He goes in and comes back out. Next thing you know, you're arrested because you the getaway car driver. You didn't know this fool went in here and robbed the liquor store. So now you're out and you're an accomplice to committing an armed robbery. Your wife had just had your third son, but she held you down because she knows I'm not a bad guy. I did my time and I came home 6 months ago. Now, here's the problem. You're not telling me how long you were in. You're not saying that. And you're leaving that out of the letter because it helps you. But Uncle Steve know better. Armed robbery, even with a plea, you year and a half, 2. Even if they believed you, they let you plead to this right here.
All right, hang on. We'll have part 2 of Steve's response coming up at 23 minutes after the hour. Subject, what was she doing while I was gone? We'll get back into it right after this. You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Hey everyone, quick health question. Even though you're still thriving, still loving, still connecting, did you know your immune system weakens with age? That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off certain respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. This fall, ask your doctor which vaccines you need and visit vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com to schedule one or more vaccines. Sponsored by Pfizer. All right, come on, Steve. Let's recap today's Strawberry Letter. The subject, what was she doing while I was gone?
Well, 33-year-old black man married for 9 years, was in the streets when you got married, but you messed around and got yourself a degree. Congratulations. Got you a job of position and leadership. But the mistake you made, you were still hanging with the same crew. You got caught up and you got ended up in jail. Now, you drop a friend off at the liquor store, little to you know, he goes in and he robs the place. He comes back and gets in the car. You don't know this until you get arrested because you were driving the getaway car. Okay, now your wife had just had your third son, but she held you down in prison, jail, because she knows you're not a bad guy. You did your time and you got home 6 months ago. You didn't really say how much time you're doing. I'm assuming a couple of years, 18 months, something on the plea you did because they believed that you just went in there and you didn't know. But let's say you were gone a couple of years. All right. You come out and you listen to the radio show while you was locked up. Thank you. And Strawberry Letter, one of your favorite things. So that got you through. We appreciate y'all, brothers, sisters that's on lockdown. Hope we do something to get you through. Now, you come home and you notice that your wife is a lot different since you got home. She dresses differently. She smokes weed, which is legal in our area. She dictates if and when we have sex, and she rations out money to me. I feel as though I can't say anything because of what I put her through while I was locked up. Now, y'all watching TV the other night, her phone rang and she left the room to talk. You ain't say nothing. Next morning, she got a call and you could hear that it was a man on the phone. She talked for about 3 minutes. As soon as she hung up, I told her she got a lot of nerve allowing men to call her while she's home, and there's no way this can continue. She told me to hush. Pretty sure the word wasn't hush. I think it was a little bit more harsh than that. I think it started with shut.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. Okay, Shirley. Yeah.
Okay.
And glad that you still have a home because her friends helped her out by doing things in and around the house while I was away. I asked her what in and the house meant and she ignored me. I have to keep cool and not explode on her. What's the best way to approach it? Well, brother, things have changed. She dressing different and she's smoking weed. She's gone through a lot holding this family down while you was gone. But really though, brother, these is the consequences of your actions. Because you didn't leave them streets alone. Well, let's say you left the streets alone, but you hang with the same crew. Association brings on participation. So now here we are. One of your ignorant friends did something ignorant, selfishly didn't tell you. You got caught up, you had to do time. Now, your girl been watching you out in the street. She has told you. You're leaving that part out the letter. She done told you, stop hanging with them fools. You wouldn't do it because you was keeping it real instead of keeping it moving. You was not forgetting where you from. You was getting caught up in all that hood lingo that ain't got nothing to do with your family. So now here's the deal. Shirley said it right. You've got to get yourself together. But now you have a police record. Hard to get employed with a police record. So now you've got everything. All of this you bought on yourself, brother. So now I can't tell you that your marriage will ever get back because you never really allowed it to get off the ground the right way. You stayed out there in them streets. Your marriage could be over. She has male friends now. She has people that has done things for her to help her out. Now, I'm going to just tell you flat out, if a man done something to help you out, then we got to think about that for a second. I'm not saying she did anything, but you a man. But let's be fair. Let's not be angry with this sister because you put this sister in a position where she had to survive. And once you put a person in survival mode, man, you can't get mad at how they choose to survive. You just can't. Now, why she dressing different, I don't know. I don't know.
Fashions have changed since he got...
Is she wearing your clothes? I don't know what this change of outfits is. Is she wear a lot of your clothes? Is she wear baseball hats cocked to the side? I don't know what the clothes is. But she rationing out sex and money because she don't know how long you gonna be around. You might have to go again. I don't know what it is, brother, but you got to get yourself together. Don't be so angry with the woman because she was put in survival mode. I don't think you should explode on her because you left her in a really, really bad situation with your third son. Woman got 3 kids. She got put in survival mode. She has some male friends, it looks like, and they're not your male friends. Good luck. Don't explode on the sister. Maybe it's time for you to just go somewhere and get yourself together. Like Shirley said, take care of your kids. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Post your comments on today's Strawberry Letter at Steve Harvey FM on Instagram and Facebook. Check out the Strawberry Letter podcast on demand.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.